everyone, welcome to New Bear. Last week I did a video about reversing work. We looked at the why, the how, and came out on the other side with this little motif. After finishing the motif, I had an idea to make it into a photo frame for a card. That then led me to tatting and edging for the card. The whole process is included in the poly tat along video, but the card kind of gets lost. It's at the end of a video about reversing work. I never intended to do a card. So today's video is just a cut and paste of how to make the edging and attach it to the card as you go. I've included links for the original video as well as the poly pattern for anyone who's interested in making the motif. I hope you enjoy it. When I first made this little motif, it was for one of my tatting classes in reversing work. Then I looked at it and I thought it's actually kind of cute to have it as a little photo frame. So I'm going to make this into a card and I'm going to tat around the edges of the card. So I thought you might like to see how I attach the tatting to that. I've done my first chain. As you can see, I haven't knotted my threads. I've just got a nice long tail and I've got 2 picot 1 5 times and picot 2. I'm going to use a lock join to attach this to the card. So I've pre-punched my holes and I'm going to go into the second hole. It is kind of interesting trying to attach something that is really not flexible, or attach to something I should say. So just position your chain. I might tighten that up a little bit so that it sits on top. I'm going to continue on with my chain. I find if I hold it to the side, it actually it kind of helps. And yes, I am going to use my picot gauges. I think that probably makes it harder for myself, but if you know me, you know I like to use my gauges. Okay, that's my second chain. Go into the next pre-punched hole. Going back to my first, at the start of my first chain, I'm going to go through the first hole and pull those threads up. I'm actually going to put my tails through that loop. Again, position the start of my chain. And pull that down. And continue my way around the card. When we get to our corner chain, we have 2 double stitches in between each picot, and we're going to join back to the hole in the corner. So joining to this hole twice. And now continue on as we were before. So I've made my way all the way around and tied off at the end like I did at the start. I'm just going to weight base of that down. I'm going to tie a sliding knot here to get rid of my tail. So a sliding knot is used when they make leather bracelets and things like that. So I don't know how we're going to go with using thread, but we'll give it a crack. So we're going to cross our threads over and loop this one back on itself. I'm popping in a magic loop facing the other way, just over the top, and then using the tails from, so that's the tails from the loop. It's a bit hard to see with the same coloured thread, isn't it? Loop it over, and I want to use these tails. Goes in there, and I'm wrapping around the threads. So you want to do 3 or 4 wraps. It's a lot easier if you're using leather instead of thread. Need more fingers to hold on to everything. Okay, when you've wrapped it 3 or 4 times and it stays wrapped, we want to get our loop and pass your tails up through that loop. I know it's hard for you to see, but if I let this go, I'm going to lose my loops. So I've got my wraps under there and my tails through the magic loop. And we're going to gently pull those tails through our wraps. So you want them loose enough that you can pull the tail through, but not so loose that you're going to lose the lot. And then we can pull that down to secure that knot. Now the idea of the sliding knot is obviously that it will slide. But we don't want ours to slide. I want that to secure my thread. So I've tightened everything up, and we're going to tie this side exactly the same. So loop it back and loop it reasonably close. Normally for a sliding knot you'd have a bit of space between this knot and your second knot, as I said, so it can slide, but I don't want this one to slide, so I'm going to do it pretty close. Put my loop in going the other way, and again we're going to wrap for 4 or 5 times. Put your tails through the loop. Got my wrap stitches here. and gently pull them through those wraps. I'll have to work them a little bit. I've pulled them over my other knot, which was clever. Now, unfortunately, that's pulled that far too loose. So I might actually rewrap that one. But once you're done, you can cut your threads and your tails have disappeared. So my second attempt is much better, and of course it's the one I didn't film. Anyway, I showed you how to do it before. Now I'm just going to cut my tails off nice and close. And then on the outside, we're going to have my little Tassie. And a little frame. That's it. See you next time.